Let's do it. Let's do it to it.
All right. Hey there, everybody. Welcome back to The Art of Losing Your Butt and Finding Your Why. I'm Doug.
And I'm Christy.
And this week we're talking about something that everyone deals with, everyone has dealt with, and everyone will deal with in their lifetime. Stress. How,
We don't have stress.
what stress?
What stress?
I don't even know
we
what
have
that
no
is.
stress.
And, we want to talk about the effect it can have on you and effective ways of managing stress and tips to even avoid stress altogether. Some things we've used, some tips and tricks we've learned.
Or trying to learn.
Or trying to learn, because again, it's one of those things. Everyone deals with stress, sometimes more than other, more one day than the next. It's kind of like a roller coaster, It comes and it goes. Some days are particularly bad. Others feel like there's nothing at all as far as stress going on, and it's like a miracle day. But you got to kind of learn how to deal with it when it comes, because if not, it's got some negative effects on your health and your well-being, mental and physical.
Yeah.
And even emotional, and you're, dealing with other people in day-to-day life.
Life gets lifey.
Yeah, it can. Some days you just have a bad day. Things go wrong, whatever. You get a nail in your tire on the way to work. You wake up on the wrong side of the bed. You get into an argument with your spouse over something before you left the house. It can happen at any time, Something went wrong at work. It's not even
the pool overflowed.
And also, there's not always negative stress. Sometimes there's good stress. When you have a lot of good things going on in your life, like for instance, myself, I'm taking care of a lot of things. I'm getting a lot of things accomplished right now. But in doing that, my schedule is very full right now. And every week it feels like every single day there's something on my plate. And it's a good stress, but looking at my calendar is kind of overwhelming sometimes, knowing that every single day there's an appointment or there's something going on or there's somewhere that I need to be or an obligation that I have to meet. But it's a good thing, because I'm getting to where I want to be and I'm taking care of things that I should have dealt with a long time ago. Just for instance, like seeing a dermatologist, little things like that. I've got I had a mole that I wanted to get checked out, and we checked that out. That came back as non-cancerous. But little things like that, things that have been worrying me for years that I put off, for whatever reason.
Well, and Gary and I were joking because for like the last 3 weekends in a row, we have had very, very busy. Lot of things, and it's all been good things.
Yeah.
Don't get me wrong. It's been doing things with family, doing things with friends. But like this past weekend, we jammed a lot of living into one weekend.
Right.
The Slipknot concert, going out with friends, and it was a lot. And you feel like you need a vacation from your weekend.
Right. Had a great time, but you feel like you need a vacation from your vacation sometimes.
Yeah, and then and then you go into work, and then that stress kicks in.
Right.
So you went from good stress to
just flip from one to the other.
Yeah.
Sometimes you just are like, I want to just lay down. Can I just take a nap today? Sometimes that's the best thing in the world.
I don't want to adult today. Can I just stay in bed?
Right.
I actually posted something the other day. It was like, there's a little girl, messed up blonde hair, going like that. She goes, I'm trying to decide if I want to participate today. And I'm like, yeah, that's me.
I get that. We had one week, last week or the week before, where it was raining really hard all week. And I woke up and it was chilly in the house with the air conditioner running, and there you could hear the rain against the window. And all I did was just pull the blanket up closer to my head. And I just felt like if I had a book right now and I had some PTO days at work, I would call out right now and just sit here and just lay the day away reading in bed. It was like, oh, this is perfect weather for napping.
Yeah.
But
we've got the responsibilities, and we got up and went to work.
Yeah.
I know.
Right. Because I'm the worst for that. Like I'm teaching you guys about stress relief strategies tonight. The truth of the matter is, looking at you right now in this video, is that I need to learn them myself. We're all works in progress, and that's something that I will admit right away. I am far from perfect, and I need to learn how to work on things because of that. I can let things eat at me. You know, you let stress get into you and it kind of creeps up on you sometimes. Like you think you've got it under control and it can eat at you. And if you're not careful, you know, it'll manifest in ways that, for me personally, are strange and unusual. I'll find myself like stress eating. People, you
Mm-hmm.
know, people. Everyone's got their own way of dealing with stress, and some of those ways are healthy, and some of
Mm-hmm.
those ways are unhealthy.
I
You
wake
know.
up in the morning and I've clenched my fists so tight at night
Mm-hmm.
that I'll cause myself to bleed.
Yeah.
You know, where my nails dig into me,
Right.
because that's what my stress when I'm sleeping.
Uh-huh.
You know, it comes out that way. It
Response.
manifests. Yeah.
Right. Or some
So
people grind their teeth.
yeah,
You know, some
clenching.
people have night terrors, and these are things you're unaware of. You
Mhm.
know. But
So one of the things that we can do to help relieve the stress, because let's face it, the world is stressful right now.
oh yeah.
Guided imagery. You
Mm-hmm.
know, pretend that you're. I know I do this a lot because I get texts from friends that are either working from home or retired, and they say, "Oh, I'm sitting on the beach today. I'm working from the beach," and they send me pictures of their feet in the sand, and I just pretend I'm with them.
Yeah. Yes.
You know.
And it works.
Yeah,
It does.
it does.
If you know, for me, it's putting on like it's going to sound silly, a YouTube video. And if you're able to watch it, you can watch it, or you can just play the background sounds through like, there's different apps with like relaxation sounds,
Mm-hmm.
and you can put on like Day at the Beach, and it's just the gentle waves crashing against the sand, and maybe some seagulls in the background, and the breeze, and you can play that, and I'll tell you what, you'd be surprised how well that works. I do it personally when I get home for the day, rather than turn the TV on and, God forbid, watch the news and then just watch your stress go really up,
Mm-hmm.
or get on social media and then start stressing about comparing yourself to others, or
Or
doom
reading the
scrolling,
comments.
or reading fights that people are having, or something like that. Instead, I put on some nature sounds, like a thunderstorm at night, and I play with my dog, and that makes all the difference in the world. That's my first one that I love.
Yeah.
Another one would be, this goes on the list of things you could do to try, is meditation. There is nothing better than being still in the moment.
That was me today. I had a very stressful day at work.
Mm-hmm.
And as I was removing some water from the pool, um, I looked outside and butterflies, little butterflies, just started coming up to get water.
Oh, okay.
And I walked out, and they were just flying all around me. And I'm like, okay, this is nature telling me to chill,
Pause.
pause, and I
Mhm.
enjoyed the moment.
Yeah.
You know, and it did. It took the stress away. It's like everything else doesn't really matter, because that was a beautiful moment
Right.
right there that I got to spend in nature, and that always rejuvenates me.
Oh, yes.
You know.
Yeah.
And if all else fails, I have my own little mantra right now: TikTok, TikTok. And the reason it's TikTok is because, you know what I'm going through today doesn't mean a ding thing in the scope of my goal clock.
Yeah.
You know. So
Right.
what I'm going through today, it's a TikTok away from where I want to be in my goals.
Right.
So I just have to get through today and work on the goals, and then, you know, that stress will go away.
Keep working at it,
Yep.
and you're going to get there. It's part of the journey. It's part of the journey. I would say the other one that goes with meditation would be, practicing deep breathing. That also is very helpful in dealing with stress. And you can do that like at work.
Mhm.
You know, your boss yells at you for something. Someone makes a mistake and it gets blamed on you, and you're in a moment where you're heated. You can feel your blood pressure going up. You can feel yourself getting red in the face. You can literally just take 5 minutes while you're sitting there at your desk to take
Yep.
some slow, deliberate breaths in and out,
In
slowly,
through the
deep.
nose, out through the mouth.
Mhm. And you can look this up. There's a specific method you can do with a count that is known specifically to relieve stress and lower blood pressure, even in times like that. And it works. It does something to slow your mind back down and will ease you in times like that, especially,
Mhm.
especially, or just in general, if you find yourself just feeling overwhelmed, because what you'll find out is that if you're chronically stressed, you'll realize you're taking shorter, shallower breaths. You'll find yourself almost hyperventilating,
And
where you're
then,
not taking deep breaths at all. You're taking very shallow breaths fast throughout the day.
and then you'll find that if you are under chronic stress and your cortisol is raised,
Mm-hmm.
that you will find that you're doing sighs a lot.
Mm-hmm.
That, or humming. Those are the two things. Those are the body's way of self-correcting that high cortisol. So it's trying to calm your body. So that's one thing I've noticed since I've learned that. I've kind of watched, and I know I do it all the time, but I always call it my pressure relief valve.
Right.
If I don't do that, I'm
I
gonna
like
blow.
that.
So
Right.
deal with my. I used to get in trouble.
Like
My
letting off
mother
steam.
would think I was copying an attitude
Right.
because I'd be like, and she's like, "Don't you breathe like that around me?" And I'm copying an attitude. No, that was my body's natural response.
Yeah.
I used to yell at my daughter for humming when she ate, but that was her own natural response. And now I hum, which is really hysterical. And because it helps me concentrate on what I'm doing.
It works. Some
And
people
calms
whistle.
me down.
Some people. I had a boss that whistled the entire day while he worked.
Whistle by you.
And truly, he'd be in the stock room moving boxes and stuff, and he could whistle like musically. I mean, it was beautiful. He was that well practiced at it. He's done it his whole life. It was just hilarious to me. And another one is yawning. If you find yourself yawning, it usually means your oxygen levels are getting low. It's your body triggered by low oxygen. If you're not breathing deep enough,
Or you just haven't gotten enough sleep.
That too.
Which is another issue.
That too, generally.
So the next one, our favorite, exercise.
The exercise.
Put the angry music on, hit the gym, hit the walk, hit the bike, whatever.
Yeah.
If it's bad, I have a heavy bag at home. I'll beat the crap out of the heavy bag.
Yeah.
You've come here to do it.
Just start boxing.
Yeah.
I've done it. I've had absolute shit days. And excuse my cursing, but there's no other way to describe it. I mean, just the worst. And I got done, and I didn't feel like doing anything else. I didn't want to go home. I didn't want to go to a restaurant and order food and then risk myself overeating or triggering something there. And I just came straight here. I walked in the gym, said hi to the guy at the front desk, walked right over, sat my bag down, and proceeded to just punch a bag until I was out of breath, And it was like, I'm going to burn off this anger, this frustration, and this stress right now. And in doing so, your body releases endorphins and, different chemicals that trigger a pleasurable response to you, dopamine response to you working hard, and you'll find yourself feeling better. And it works. It truly does. It does. It really does.
And like I said, anymore, I mean, yes, I love coming to the gym. I love, working on putting on the muscle. But part of it is, a good part of it for me is mental health.
Oh, yeah.
It keeps me sane. So, but the other one is social support, which is also the gym for me.
Right.
Your
friends are here.
My friends are here.
My family's here pretty much.
And that's one of the things, like Tuesday nights. That's the one night when I'm like, okay, we get together. Before we film this, we sit there and talk to each other for a good hour and just catch up on the week and everything. Yeah. And that's a stress relief.
Oh, definitely. Yeah. It's a chance for us to just not just BS about our day, but like go over hopes, dreams, ideas, inspirational things. What's got us down? What's got us up? What we're struggling with? What we've succeeded in this week? It gives us a chance to ask each other's opinions on things and improve each other in a non-judgmental space. And the two of us can talk absolutely freely. Yeah. Like it's one of those relationships and friendships where I could ask her any question and I know she's going to give me a 100% truthful answer, even if it's not what I want to hear in the moment. Right. And I would highly recommend that you find someone like that and get them in your life. Yeah. Because you can trust and rely on in a situation like that, because I'll tell you what, it makes all the difference in the world.
My spouse
does.
is like that. Unfortunately, he knows that he has to tread lightly sometimes.
Right.
I mean, you can
Right.
tell me, get over yourself. And if he did it, he'd be like, what did you say?
Right. Right.
He has his own way, you know.
I'll get the blanket for the couch.
No.
I'm kidding. I'm kidding.
He has his own way, you know. He'll give me the look, and he'll do the when I'm saying something that he knows, you know.
As if to say, I see through this.
I see through your bullshit. Yeah, and if it gets bad enough, he'll actually say, "I'm not co-signing that."
Right.
Because that's my bullshit. And
I like that.
Yeah, I'm not
That's
co-signing
cool.
that. So, but like he posted something about ego versus something, and I read through it. And I'm like, oh,
Mhm.
yeah, I see it. I see it. I don't
Right,
want to see
I get it.
So I wowed it, but my comment is I have no comment. He's like, did it strike a chord?
Yeah, maybe just a little bit.
A little bit, yeah.
You know.
Oh, right, fine, you're right.
I feel like this might have been aimed at me a little bit.
Yeah.
Just saying, you know.
And if it wasn't, I'm feeling it, and so it was. Yeah, all right, you're right.
So to take this in a different direction, besides stress relief strategies, there's also some tips you could use to avoid stress completely, to stop the unnecessary stress from forming in your life. And the biggest one that I can tell you would be time management.
Which neither one of us
she
has.
laughs because
Neither one of us
it's something that, like I was just telling you guys about,
Mhm.
scheduling these things, and I have a calendar. I got it all penciled in. I know exactly what I'm doing every day, and you know I'm still trying to do more as if there's 27 hours in the
Yep.
day somehow.
Mhm.
You know, and I'll know that I want to be in bed by 10 o'clock or 10:30, and I'm folding laundry at 11:30 and putting dishes away at 11:50. And I don't know why, because I live alone, and it's not like anybody's going to be pissed off that I didn't do the dishes. I don't know what to tell you. Maybe I don't know. I truly don't know. I need help understanding my own behavior sometimes.
Mhm.
You know, that's why it helps to have friends and people that are open and honest with you. For me, it's about completing a task. And I've kind of gotten on this kick this past year with the weight loss and everything, that I will not procrastinate anything anymore, because I procrastinated everything for so long
I'm still
that
procrastinating.
I can't do that anymore, because I procrastinate with one thing, and then a second thing, and then a third thing. And then suddenly when the fourth thing comes, oh my God, I have 5 different things that I need to get done in the next week. And I'm overwhelmed, I'm stressed, and I'm staying up till 2 o'clock in the morning to get everything done because I forgot to get the truck inspected. I forgot to get my license renewed. I don't know. You know what I mean? I forgot to file my taxes. It's like, you know, things like that, stupid little things. But when they build and there's multiple of them, all of a sudden, bam, it hits you like a brick wall and you're overwhelmed. So I decided I was going to just knock everything out as it came along. If something comes up, take care of it right then and there. That way it's done and over with. But sometimes you can go overboard with that too, you know. And in that situation, like here I am, 11:30 at night, I walk past the sink and there's, you know, 5 or 6 dishes in it. And I'm like, I should get those done before I finish the day out. No big deal. It's just a couple dishes. And I'm sitting there scrubbing and I go, what am I doing? You know, but I've already started it now, so I have to finish it.
Yeah.
You know, one of those kind of situations. But time management, to get back to the point, is super important, because you not managing your time and wasting the day and procrastinating just adds to so much unnecessary stress. If you can find a way to schedule things and to plan your day out even a little bit, you know, when you wake up in the morning, just have a mental list, or write it down, even better, of the things you hope to accomplish that day. And put some little small things on there, you know, that way, even if you don't get any big things accomplished, you getting those check marks on that list for a couple small little things makes you feel like you still got something done.
And make sure you know where the list is.
Right.
I did that the other day. Made a list of all stuff I needed to get done, and then I misplaced the list and I can't find it.
Right. I get that though.
So organizational skills help too.
Organization, right. That's a great one.
All right. So the other one that we are both try very, very hard to be on is the healthy diet.
Oh yeah,
You know, that's a huge part of our journey.
definitely.
Because you know what happens when you put junk in, you get junk out.
Oh yeah.
So when you fill yourself up with junk food,
Hmm.
you feel like crap,
Oh
and
yeah.
you don't have energy to do anything.
Yep.
So I mean, that's a pretty
Sometimes you might not
simple
even
one.
realize it.
Yeah.
You know, sometimes you don't realize it until you try eating a little healthier, and all of a sudden you realize, oh my God, I have all this energy. Where did this come from? I don't feel so bloated or weighed down or sloshy, like there's just something in me moving around, or
Hmm.
you know, um, yeah,
So limit
makes a
you
huge
limit your
difference.
caffeine. You know, because
Oh,
caffeine
absolutely.
adds to stress, and you know that's one of the things because I'm the original caffeine
Hmm.
addict. But one thing I've found out is coffee versus either green tea
Hmm.
or an energy drink.
Yeah.
I am much better on the energy drink, like the Celsius,
Right.
or the green tea
Then
than
coffee.
coffee. Coffee is an irritant, and I love it, but it doesn't love me, evidently.
Wow.
And I still it actually
Huh.
makes me sleepy.
Huh.
I can drink coffee and go to sleep.
I think my grandfather was like that. He drank coffee all day.
And that's what I used to drink pots of coffee.
Yeah, he just had a pot on the thing all
Yeah,
day long,
and just drank it all
every
the time.
day. Yeah.
And I've gotten to the point where, you know, now if I really want a cup of coffee, I'll have a cup of coffee. But what I'm noticing is I don't do it every day now. But when I do it, now I get
Gotcha.
tired. But if I
Huh.
drink the other stuff, I'm up, wide awake, and ready to get things done. And I'm like, oh.
Hmm.
So the coffee needs to just be for, you know,
That's
when I want a little
interesting.
something special.
Right. You know, a little extra kick.
Yeah.
Right.
But
Same with sugar. The sugar, you know, that kind of goes in part with the junk,
yeah.
you know, is watching your sugar, because you will get yourself on a roller coaster that will only stress you out even more, of you spiking your sugar. The insulin gets released, you know, your insulin dumps, your sugar crashes, and then you crave more sugar.
Hmm.
And you can kind of get on a ride of doing this,
Yep.
walking past a bowl of M&Ms all day long, and somehow every time you walk past it, you grab 3 of them for the whole day, for an
Hmm.
8-hour shift at work per se. You know, maybe someone brings in a bowl of those little snack sized Snickers bars, and you realize without realizing, or you've eaten, you know, 20 of them throughout the day, or whatever. You know,
Uh-huh.
Halloween, people bring in the leftover bags
Oh
of
God.
candy.
Yeah.
You know, those sorts of
That's
things.
one of the reasons I had to leave the
Sugar.
hospital.
Yeah.
I don't leave working there because they had candy everywhere, and it was the job was sitting there, and I'm
Right.
like,
All day you're just sitting there staring at it.
I looked at the boss and I'm like, dude, you've got sweets here, you got sweets here, you got sweets there. And I'm like, I sit for a living now here. I can't do this.
Mm-hmm.
I was like, I'm going to end up being 400 pounds again.
Right.
And that's one of the reasons why I left.
I
And
get it.
got into physical therapy.
I get it. And you doing that, you know, having that roller coaster ride of emotions and hunger and craving is just more stress on your body.
Mm-hmm.
So that kind of goes into the whole junk thing. And when you feel junky and you feel shitty, it's just bad for your mental health. You know what I
Mm-hmm.
mean? You don't feel good. You're not in a good place. And it just kind of transfers across your whole day.
Yeah.
How your conversations go with people, you just feel in a bad way. You feel bad, and you're kind of, you know, a lot of people when they're feeling bad, they're not the best with other people.
Yep.
You know, conversations just kind of go in a negative way, or they're kind of nasty sometimes. And you can find that happening to yourself pretty, and it just adds. It's kind of like a snowball rolling downhill. Kind of just grows.
Mm-hmm.
You know.
And one of the other things, speaking of growing, is limit your screen time, especially
Oh
at night,
yeah.
before you get ready to go to bed.
Yes.
Because let me tell you, I have a rule that the news doesn't go on at night.
Oh, yeah.
I don't want to hear anything about world affairs.
No.
Because I need that's time to calm down. And
Yeah.
now you want to put on, you know, a murder whodunit or whatever.
Right.
Okay, cool. You know.
Right. Or something silly in the background. You
Yeah.
know, cartoon or.
But
you know,
even then,
silly show.
you know, like I told him, limiting screen time is hard when you spend most of your day at work on the screen. And then, you know, you come home, and at least I do, and then I'm trying to do our social media
Right.
stuff here, and yeah,
Instagram and Facebook
Right.
and TikTok, and you're checking out your Meta Business Suite to
Yeah.
see the people that have commented and make sure you're answering all of them.
Yeah.
And it can be it's a balancing act.
Yep.
Without going overboard to where you're obsessing about it, but being within a healthy range where you're not neglecting your business.
Mhm.
And there's a sweet spot there that you just have to find. You got to kind of practice with it. But there is a app on your phone, usually called Screen Time or Screen Health, that will tell you your usage per app.
Yeah.
How much time you spent on that app through a day, through the past week, through the past month, and you can see a graph of how your usage has gone up or down or to nothing, and you can see the trends.
Mhm.
If you look into it, you can certainly see it, and you can look out for spikes. If you find yourself spending a whole bunch of extra time on TikTok, which you're not really using for business.
Yeah.
Well,
We have an account there, but
right, but you know what I mean. You know what I mean. But something like that, where
sometimes
you're only
real
posting one
people.
little thing, is what I mean to
Yeah.
say.
And finally,
Or I don't know, a dating app or something like that, something that's not used for business purposes.
yeah,
You might find
no
you might,
dating
you might
apps.
uncover an app that on your phone that you have been spending too much time on, a video game or something like that, and go, oh, oops.
Yeah. So,
Right.
and the other one is like easy for us, but avoid drugs and alcohol.
Drugs and alcohol.
They're all depressants. It's not going to help you. It
You
might
may
make
think it does.
You may think it does.
I think it helps you relax
when
after the day.
Yeah, but
Sorry.
it can also become a problem with some people.
Mm-hmm.
And it's not the answer to the stress. And
Oh,
in the
yeah,
long run,
no.
it just brings more stress and
Yeah.
chaos to your life.
No, yeah, I agree with that completely.
Yeah.
A friend of mine told me a long time ago, this doesn't really matter to me because I'm sober, but a friend of mine said to me, if you find yourself having a drink, it always should be in a celebratory situation. You should never be having a drink because you're feeling down, sad, depressed, or in a bad way or bad mood, ever.
Yeah.
And that kind of struck me because I realized, if you were drinking during a bad time, it was to cope.
Yep.
If you're drinking during a good time, it's a celebration. It's
Mhm.
it's part of the celebrating a
And-
success. But if you're drinking during a bad time, that's a bad place to be.
Because I grew up with alcoholics.
Same.
I think that's why I always to drink. I would never, if I was stressed or upset, I wouldn't drink.
Okay.
I would never drink alone.
That was another one I always heard: never drink alone.
So if I was in any of those things, it was like, I'll be your DD, just give me some soda or whatever. And then I would relax during the night, have some fun or whatever. But I'll be honest with you, I got that ingrained early because I saw what others did. And I didn't want to end up like them.
Yep.
But what I didn't realize was how that also translates to food.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm going to add food in that as well.
Mm-hmm.
Okay. Because when you get stressed out, what do you end up doing?
Right.
Hand to mouth.
Instead of having a beer or a shot of whiskey, you find yourself eating a snack cake or, I don't know, a burger.
Box of snack
or, ice cream or, something sweet.
Right.
To, I don't know, take your mind off of it.
Well, it gives you the same dopamine feeling.
That's the same deal. It's the same thing as drugs.
Right.
In that sense, is that you're just getting a response of hormones that is going to make you feel good from the food, which helps you ease the pain or the struggle that you're going through. But then your body makes a connection. And once it realizes that food fixes
that pain,
you get stuck in this.
Mm-hmm.
Some people, not everybody. Some people do it once. They have an event like that, and they continue on their life like, and it's no big deal because they make the connection in their head that that's not a healthy way of coping with a struggle or a situation like that. Other people, like addicts, especially if you have a past addiction, something to look out for.
Yeah. Well, see, but that's the thing is, they say alcoholism, the addiction gene is hereditary.
Hereditary.
But what I'm saying is because I learned from alcoholics that I don't want to be like you. So I didn't drink when I got pissed off. I didn't drink when
Right.
I was stressed out. I didn't drink alone. But what I didn't see was that I was eating alone, that I was eating when I was upset. I was eating with, because food is legal.
Right.
You don't have to be a
Accepted by
certain
everybody.
age. Yeah. So you sitting there eating, a big tub of popcorn by yourself is, that's not a big deal.
Yeah.
I
mean, it's the only addiction you can't go cold turkey from.
Right.
You can't, if you had a problem with food and you need to fix it, you still have to have a relationship with food for the rest of your life.
Mm-hmm.
If you are addicted to heroin, you just give up heroin and you never touch it again. It's not like it's required for you to live.
Right. Alcohol's the same way.
Right.
You don't touch it ever again.
Right.
And you can't do that with food.
You have to have food.
Right.
You're always going to be around it.
And so you have to learn how to deal with it.
Yeah.
So you have to kind of have those stress related things as well. Like, okay, I'm stressed. I'm not going to sit here and pig out.
Right.
I'm not going to use it as an excuse to go hit the, fast food joint.
Maybe I'm going to go for a walk instead or go to the gym. Maybe I'm going to take the dog outside for an hour-long walk around the block and enjoy the sunset.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
You got to think about those kind of healthy replacements and
yeah.
alternatives, when a situation like that comes up. Because it might hit you out of nowhere. You might get into a stressful situation and be in a liquor store parking lot or be in a McDonald's parking lot passing through on your way to the gym or on your way to a friend's house or on your way home from work, and something happens. You get a phone call from your boss chewing you out, screaming at you and talking to you in a bad way, and all of a sudden you find your blood pressure up and you're feeling miserable because you pulled over and you just happened to be in a McDonald's parking lot or next to one, and there you are, and you're like, you know what, I think I'm gonna go get ice cream tonight.
Yep. And it's funny because I've been under a little stress this past week, and I actually the other day we were dealing with a pool situation, and I stepped outside thinking I was going to get deep breath and everything, and
deep breathing.
The woman in the office next to us was out back smoking. And I walked, I didn't realize she was there, and I went out and
took a deep breath.
And took a deep breath, and it was all smoke, and I'm like, I could go ask her for one and nobody would know.
No.
And then I'm like, what are you doing? No, one will end up in a pack a day again.
Oh, God.
No, stop it. And then that night, we went, Gary and I went to Dollar General, and I walked I don't know what I was doing. I walked directly to the Little Debbie aisle and stood there and looked. And I'm like, what are you doing? Yeah. What are you doing? And that's just, that stress valve went off.
Yep.
And that quick, I went back to old bad behaviors.
Oh, you can revert very quickly.
And I'm like, okay, no. And, it's funny because once again, Gary comes up and goes, what you doing, honey? Nothing. Nothing.
Yeah.
He knew what I was doing.
Yeah.
But
you fantasizing over here?
Yeah.
You planning a relapse?
Actually, and then yeah.
I mean, I hate to say that, but it's kind of one of those
when
things.
When it comes to food, though, I actually do use planned binges, but they're because I want to. It's not because it's a stress-related thing.
Right.
So just because I'm having stress, I'm not going to say, "Oh, I'm planning a binge this weekend."
Right. It's not a response.
No, it is more.
It's a refeed day because you've been, in a deficit all week.
And that's the way I would use it more.
Right.
Is okay. Right. Look, I've done 2 weeks solid of
low calorie,
low carb
eating,
and I'm starting to feel
right
a way about it.
Right. Tired, you don't have as much energy, your metabolism's going down, so you have a refeed day and eat a little higher.
Yeah. And so then, I'll do that. Well, then I want everything.
I get that.
So then we eat regularly through the day, and then I'll go to the grocery store and I'll get whatever I want to gorge on. But then I set times.
Okay.
So from like 9 to 11, I can eat whatever I want. But once 11 comes, everything gets thrown out.
Gotcha.
Anything that's left.
Gotcha.
And then that way I have that feeling like, you know, I rewarded myself. I whatever, you know, I got that dopamine hit that I needed,
Uh-huh.
but I controlled it and I didn't let it get away from me.
Okay. I got you.
So, you know.
And for me, I will abstain from things like that completely. And I will every once in a while treat myself to something, you know, every once in a blue moon. Usually for me, it's I have one day a week where I allow myself to have like a meal out with the family. You know, it's usually a good breakfast on Sundays. That's my day, you know. And that Sunday morning, I wake up, we go to breakfast, and I can have whatever I want while I'm there. You know, if I want a stack of French toast and eggs and scrapple, sure, or bacon or whatever else, sure, absolutely. And then it's one meal, you know, and then you're right back on plan. And then for lunch, I'm having black beans, rice, and some salsa. And it's, you know, it gives you a chance to enjoy yourself and enjoy something. And it's kind of like a little, you know, say a reward. You know, I mean, you want to be careful with that because the rewarding yourself can be something you start to look forward to a little too much.
Yeah.
And you can start to live your whole week based on your Sunday
Well, like you
cheat
do
day,
it for the
you know.
family.
Right. I do
Family
it's
time.
like a connection
I
with the
do
family.
it for the my refeed meal is date night with the hubby.
Okay. Yeah.
So, you
Right.
know, then that way we can go anywhere we want to eat.
Right.
And I still try to pick the healthiest thing on the menu.
It's still right, exactly. But
You
it's
know.
more of a convenience thing and building a connection with someone, with family, with your support system, with someone you love. And, you know, going out to eat and not exactly worrying about looking at the menu so much, you know, and looking for what the calories are on all these things and those sorts of things. It allows you to kind of put things down and enjoy the conversation with the people around you. That, at least for me personally, that's what I do. And then if I just order something off there and it's 200 extra calories and other than what I would normally allot for my breakfast for the day, I'm not worried about it, truly. And,
it's like the kids when we went to Slipknot over the weekend. My daughter's like, I know you're not dieting right now. I was like, no, I don't start, you know, the cut until Monday. And she goes, good, because you're going to eat whatever the heck you want tonight or today. You know, I'm like, yeah.
Right.
And the funny thing is, I probably ate less that day than I would have normally.
Right.
Because we were traveling.
And you're out and about walking all night at the concert.
I did 27,000 steps.
Right. That's what I'm saying.
Plus with all the dancing around.
You don't.
My watch kept saying, are you working out? Yep, I sure am.
Yeah. That's what I joke about. It's like, you know, we went camping that one weekend and I'm like, oh no, we went to Denny's for breakfast and I got strawberry French toast stuffed with cream cheese and strawberries or something like that. I was like, oh, okay, it's 1,400 calories. And then we go back to the campground that day and we end up walking like 9.5 miles around the campground, seeing the sights. And I'm like, oh,
yeah,
you know, don't worry about it.
Yeah.
You know, it's one of those things. You're not stressing.
No,
Don't
no
let
stress.
Don't let stress. Yeah.
And you know what?
Less.
One thing that we both heard, and we're going to pass it on to you because it does help in stressful situations. You can always restart your day.
Oh, yes.
Okay.
Yes.
When I first heard that, it was like, what? What do you mean I can restart? You can, I don't care if you got up and, you know, if you're having one of those days, you woke up, you went out into the living room and your dog's doing your cat or your cat's doing your dog and just every chaos is all around you, you can stop, take a deep breath and just restart your day.
Yeah.
You know? So that was the best bit of advice I've ever heard. And so we're passing it on.
It works.
Yeah.
It does. You know, the way that I was always told that I remembered it was that, you know, my story has been written up until this point. I can't change. I don't have white out. I can't change anything in that direction. But the pen's in my hand, and I get to decide what the next letters are.
Yep.
You know, what's going to happen from here forward. You know, you can't control what happens to you in this life sometimes, but you can control how it affects you. And just always try to keep that in mind throughout the day. And you'll find yourself realizing when someone comes at you the wrong way, I don't know what they're going through. You know what? I'm going to be a little compassionate in this situation and not react. And it's no big deal. And you'd be surprised how things turn out sometimes. But just some tips for you guys. because the less you stress, the better off you're going to be.
Yeah.
You know,
And we're working on it.
yeah, everyone's a work in progress. You're going to have terrible days. Days are going to go wrong, and you're not going to utilize any of these strategies, and you're going to be upset about it. Again,
You can start
can't
your day
change
over.
that. Start it over now.
Mhm.
And from here on out, it's going to be good.
Yep.
You know, don't worry about the past.
No.
You
All
know?
right.
So thank you guys for tuning in. If you have any questions, you have any comments, feel free to put them below. If there's something you want to hear us talk about, a video you want to see, feel free to comment. We'd love to hear from you. Please share, subscribe,
Share.
and we'll see you guys next week. Thank you guys so much for tuning in and listening. We'll see you guys soon.
Bye.
Bye.